He loves me. For the last month, including Bible studies, we have talked about relationships. We have talked about going from dating to courting, from courting to marriage. We have talked about how two people of the same spirit will one day reach a point where they will be one spirit. We talked about companionship and partnership. And I'm beginning to deal more and more with the perspective that if you don't know Christ, then you'll never know God, and you'll never understand this thing that is called love. For without developing a firm relationship with God, you can end up like a lot of us have, that you will go from place to place, person to person, looking for love. Y'all, and all of us have been guilty of taking a person's word when they say that they love us and they don't even know love themselves. Because when you read the book of Genesis, what you find is before Adam knew a woman, Adam knew God. And when Adam was introduced to God, Adam was introduced to love. For the word will have us to declare that God is love. So when Adam finds God, he finds love. And what he finds out about love is love God's way is unconditional. And if we could just grasp that, I myself would not have had 2 failed marriages. Some of you been married more times than that, and some of you have had more friends than that said they love you and that they'll never leave you, but as soon as they find out you got junk in your trunk, that you got some unresolved issues, that you are not as perfect as you look, then they find out that this is not what I want. But when you understand the love of God, that how God loves you in spite of how much junk you got, how much mess that you have, how dysfunctional you are. Y'all talk to me in here. When we find out that, then we understand that the love that I'm supposed to project is not the love that leaves when there's an issue that I don't like. Or when there's a fault or a frailty that I was not prepared for, he did not or she did not tell me about. When I understand the love of God, I understand that I can look beyond your shortcomings. And I can see why I really fell in love with you, because in spite of what we do, you can't make God stop loving you. Y'all pray with me. There's nothing you can do. You can't smoke enough dope. You can't go to enough clubs. You can't tell enough lie. That when God falls in love with you, he loves you in spite of anything. But we end up having relationships, and people that have certain relationships, they end up having relationships with stipulations. I love you as long as you do this. Oh, I love you as long as you do that. I love you as long as you pay the bills. I love you as long as you buy me stuff. Y'all come on, talk to me. I love you as long as you buy me stuff, but soon as the money funny and the change is strange, as soon as we got to figure out how we gonna do this when it ain't even there, then we want to find somebody else to love us. But can I tell you, even when the money runs out, love never runs short. And so we have to get to the place that we understand, first of all, how God loves us before we can love somebody else. Because if not, we'll end up with a bunch of companions and never a partner. We'll end up with a 2 o'clock in the morning knock at the door, instead of somebody say, I'm your ride or die. Y'all ain't got to talk to me. And so what you're looking for is not a companion, because when Jesus chose his disciples, can I just talk? When Jesus chose his disciples, he didn't choose companion, he chose partners. He chose somebody that's going to be with him through thick or thin. He would, that whether he had something or had nothing. And when Jesus said, follow him, all he was showing there is, I want to be partners with you, but I don't want to expose what I got for you. I want you to become a partner before I expose what I got for you. And we are doing too much exposure dealing with companion and not having nothing for a real partner. Because we're so bitter when we find the partner that the partner reminds us of all the companions, and we end up taking all that stuff into the partnership, and as soon as they remind me of Willie, that remind me of Lenars. But it ain't Lenars, it ain't Willie, and you have to understand that everybody got some trash. Come on, stand up, stand up. Willie and Tracy have went from the place of now they're dating. And then they find out that both of them got trash.